Hey Connor, heard you just finished Domestic Girlfriend. How was it? What the fuck? Yeah. Okay, so I just finished Domestic Girlfriend. And yeah, it was... I do want to start off by saying I did enjoy the manga. It was enjoyable, albeit for all the wrong reasons. I mean, everything you think you've heard about Domestic Girlfriend was probably true. Yeah, it was probably true. But the stuff you hear when you're like, nah, no way, there's not a chance. Yeah, there's a good chance it's true. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I figured the best way to start this off is to kind of talk about how Domestic Girlfriend starts, what the story of it is. So the story starts with our main protagonist, Natsuo, losing his virginity to a random girl that he met at a mixer. Now, unfortunately, this does alienate about 90% of the target audience for Domestic Girlfriend, because most of them have probably not even received their first kiss yet. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. What can you do? The manga continues on after that, where he goes and meets his friend, kind of tells his friend all about how he lost his virginity and everything. And then they basically get on the topic of how Natsuo has a unrequited love for his English teacher, Hina. So continues on, you know, some stuff where you kind of introduced to Hina and everything, and then we get to see that Natsuo's dad is remarrying, as his mom had passed away in the past. And the person that the dad is remarrying has 2 daughters. And lo and behold, daughter number 1 is Miss Fuck Buddy that he met at the mixer, and daughter number 2 would happen to be Hina, his unrequited love interest. So from there on out, you know, that's just chapter 1. I'm sure you can kind of see where this is going. A lot of love triangle, you know, bullshit, incest, all the fun shit, you know. Honestly, what's a good story without a little bit of incest? But honestly, just incest wouldn't be interesting enough. There are so many alternate love interests for Natsuo during the course of this manga, because for some reason, I guess Natsuo's aura is just an aphrodisiac that causes any woman that he meets panties to just drop to the floor faster than my grades dropped whenever COVID-19 hit. Unfortunately though, none of these girls ever stood a chance because Natsuo only looks in the stepsister category on Pornhub. And although I'm talking a lot about very odd stuff, the manga actually does do a fairly good job of developing these characters, something that I was very surprised of, because whenever I watched the original, or I first watched the anime adaptation, and that was not something that I was feel was more properly carried over to that, because understand that the first 72 chapters is what happens in 12 episodes of anime. So each episode was about 6 chapters, whereas a normal anime, you know, a chapter would be like an episode, you know, maybe 2 chapters would be an episode, somewhere around there. They're a lot more spaced out, versus this one was a lot more cramped into it, in my opinion. So the anime lost a lot of the more subtle character development that made it. Now, of course, again, that is not what you're here for. As much as I want to praise the fact that it does proper character development, that is not the interesting part. It does try and tackle, you know, more mature topics such as homosexuality, drug addiction, loss. I mean, there's just so many things that I was not expecting to find within Domestic Girlfriend. But again, that is not what I opened this manga for. I opened this manga because I wanted to see some prime sister fucking going on. And oh boy, let me tell you, we get some prime sister fucking. But that is not the only spicy shit that goes on within Domestic Girlfriend. Because the author could not just settle with normal scenarios in sister fucking. He or she, I honestly don't know what gender the author is, wanted to go to the extreme and create scenarios that just made you say, what the fuck? Because you already weren't questioning your faith in God enough whenever the entire story was about him fucking not 1 but 2 stepsisters. He decided, or she, we'll go with they, that's always a safe option. They decided, what if Natsuo-kun gets stabbed and goes into a coma? Or what if Natsuo gets kidnapped by a drug smuggling ring? Or what if Hina gets hit by a fucking car and goes into a coma? Yeah, no. Actually, they couldn't just settle on normal rom-com scenarios. They went to the extreme because honestly, the thing Domestic Girlfriend knows how to do best is hit the gas pedal, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you see it, I don't think they even know what a brake pedal is. They only have a need for a single foot, and it's only the foot that goes on the gas pedal. And as much as I might be sitting here and making it seem like that is a negative, that is what gives this manga everything that makes it so fucking fantastic. This manga would just feel very stereotypical if you took out the, you know, the crazy scenarios or the incestuous as well as teacher-student relationship that go on within this manga. Domestic Girlfriend is a special manga and a fun manga and an interesting manga because it does so much extremeness to where you just can't help but want to continue to go to each next chapter because you're like, how could this get even more fucked up? I mean, he just got stabbed and now he's in a coma and the killer, I mean, there's just so much stuff where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? But I want to know what's going on more than anything in the world. I would give my firstborn child away to understand what goes on in the author's head currently, because there's just so much batshit crazy stuff that goes on that my plebeian smooth brain could not fucking wrap around. I mean, we're talking about Giga Chad levels of understanding literature here. I mean, this author must wake up and piss excellence every fucking morning in order to write this kind of stuff. And again, there are a fair share of criticisms for Domestic Girlfriend, but I think if you understand what you're getting into, you understand this is not going to be your average, you know, rom-com. This is going to be something that is out there. It is extreme. It is wild. It is unlike most things you've seen. Then you will thoroughly enjoy Domestic Girlfriend. But if you walk in Domestic Girlfriend looking for your stereotypical rom-com, you are going to be more than disappointed. You are gonna be put off. This is not meant to be for your average audience. This is meant for the people that want it. And when you do want it, it is done in a way that you can just absolutely adore. I think the mangaka knew exactly what they were doing from the very start. There was nothing where they were like, oh, I wonder who I'm writing this for, what I'm writing about. No, they understood they're gonna write a crazy fucking story and it is going to be absolute, you know, batshit wild the entire time. You're gonna feel like you're on a roller coaster where you're constantly getting jerked around and your balls are fucking chafing and everything is going all over the place. But it's because they knew they were doing that it's such a fun roller coaster, because when you walked into that line for the roller coaster and you saw this was the Ball Chafer 9000. You weren't trying to get on the fucking Texas Giant at Six Flags. No, you were going on the Ball Chafer 9000 and you fucking loved it. So again, I like this manga a lot. I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. I think it was one of the most unique reads I've had in a while, and one of the most enjoyable ones at that. I can see where all the criticism for people are, but I think that's because of the fame that Domestic Girlfriend reached. A lot of people began to push, and people that this was not made for began to read it more and criticize it for that reason. You know, if you're not in the target audience, this is not the manga for you, but when you're in the target audience and you're ready for it, it is a fantastic manga. Okay, so that's kind of everything for the main review. I hope you guys liked it. I did have a little bit of tangent that I wanted to throw in here about the ending, but of course I kind of want to have this buffer period, so for anyone that hasn't read the manga, I thoroughly recommend you reading it if it's the kind of stuff you're wanting, and if not, you know, you can go to my tangent at the end. But 3, 2, 1, we're in spoiler territories. Fuck you, Hina. Fuck you thoroughly. Rui deserved to win so much. There was no reason she should have. They had a baby and a fucking wedding planned out and everything, and you go into a fucking coma, and she... Oh my god, the manga does such a good job at setting it up to where you're gonna root for Team Rui. I mean, when I watched the anime, I was Team Hina. She had some fat milker, she was an older, you know, an Oni-san and everything, but when you read the manga, it is Team Rui all the way. And then the coma! Oh my god. Bye.